All right, continuing on with our book review series, Getting Things Done by David Allen. Now, if you have always worked kind of labor or retail jobs, you've never really been a manager before, never had to really do knowledge work, and this is something that most of the jobs in a church are knowledge work in one way or another. If you've never had to do that kind of work before, the first time you get the job, you feel kind of lost. You feel kind of you don't know what your priority is supposed to be. How fast is an email supposed to be, all that kind of stuff. You feel kind of lost, and that's how I felt when I was first a manager. And this is one of the first books that I picked up after trying to learn what management was about on my own without taking a management degree or anything like that. I had to kind of develop my own curriculum, if you will, and my own reading habits, my own library of management resource books. And I got a ton. I have gotten rid of a bunch, but this is one of the ones that really sticks because this is kind of like one of those foundational books that most managers will point to, because David Allen has been in the space forever. He has been talking about how to stay productive, how to stay on task, how to get things done. It's just so rudimentary and stuff like that. And it really is one of those eye-opening books. Now, granted, it's super dry. If you don't like this kind of book, like picking it up, you're just gonna be like, oh, this is the driest, most dullest book ever. This guy talks like he's like Ben Stein but also a zombie, that kind of thing. And his TED Talks and YouTube stuff is also kind of that vein. But if you can get over yourself, if you can like see what he's actually talking about as like concepts and whatnot, he really does know what he's talking about. He teaches you how to be productive. And I'm going to show you, we're just going to find the few things that I got out of this book. One of the big things is this flow chart right here. This flow chart. Okay, you see that? Hopefully you can, get a decent, picture. Yeah, you'll be able to find it online. This is how to think through your workday, how to like identify problems so that they don't just come, kick your butt at 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up in a cold sweat. And that's mostly what this book is for. This book is to teach you how to deal with the, increased knowledge stress that comes with doing knowledge work. When you have to just, go to work and paint walls, when you run out of walls to paint, you have no more stress left aside from maybe thinking about the next walls that you have to paint. But when you have to like find painters for the walls, so now you're dealing with knowledge work, and that can be kind of problematic. That's going to have a whole host of options that you could do that you then have to like think about, in contrast with another. This teaches you how to handle that stuff and how to be always kind of ready for the next thing that's going to be happening and stuff like that. I say that a lot. I'm sorry. But the workflow diagram, that's a great thing. Also, some of his kind of like, guru-esque oneisms. The great one from this book and a lot of his talks is that the mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. And that changed my life. That I stopped trying to just think about things, and I started offloading as much as I can into a trusted system. It was the very, very earliest versions of like my commonplace book and my Trello boards, and we've talked about that in other videos. My earliest versions of that, which were like Moleskine notebooks where I just kind of wrote everything down, and bullet journals, that kind of thing, were my efforts at getting stuff out of my head into a trusted system that I knew would keep me on task so that I could have better ideas. And it worked. I got ideas for like at least half dozen novels and a couple nonfiction books to boot, one of which got published, Online as It Is in Heaven. That happened because I had the mental bandwidth to be able to think about it because of a book like this. So yeah, your brain is for having ideas, not for holding ideas, and to get those ideas out into a thing that's going to like germinate and incubate those ideas and get it with other ideas so they can grow into products and books and all that kind of stuff. That you want to get that stuff out of your head so you can have more ideas, that kind of idea. It was life changing for me, especially as a new manager, because I could now start off setting these things into trusted systems. And he talks about building trusting systems and what that looks like, how you should have brain dumps where you should get everything out on paper so you can see what kind of junk that you can actually forget, that you were only remembering because you didn't have a place to put it, like on paper in a brain dump, that kind of stuff. That kind of, talks, and then like there's this other one. Healthy skepticism is often the best way to glean the value of what's being presented. Challenge it, prove it wrong if you can. That creates engagement, which is the key to understanding. A lot of times, if you're just trying to, exist in like a neutral state at work. You'll just accept ideas as if they're good, and challenging them yourself to say, is this good? Is this really the best idea? Is this really the fastest, the cheapest, all that kind of stuff, and finding ways that you can prove it wrong will actually prove it more right in the long run, because then it's had scrutiny. And I can't tell you how many times that's been valuable in my own work life. So this is one of those books. It has been around forever. It is super boring to read. I am not going to mince words about it, but you should definitely read it. This is a 10 out of 10 review. David Allen's Getting Things Done. Definitely check this out, and yeah, go be bored for a while and learn how to do knowledge work. Have a good one.